I'm going to teach you 12 genius tips that you can use when you're thrifting so that you can always find some good stuff. At the end of this video, these tips are going to make you feel more confident when you go thrifting, not feel overwhelmed, and absolutely get some amazing items when you thrift the next time. So stick around and let me show you how it's done. Hey guys, this is Ayana Peterson, the Thrifting Diva, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here on this channel, we talk about fashion, DIY, anything that you can do to save a buck is what I'm going to be talking about. Now go ahead and take a moment, subscribe, hit that little red button below and subscribe. You can also hit the bell so that you can get notifications of when I do my videos, which is every week. Now let's jump into the video. We are going to be talking today about some thrift tips that I know you're looking forward to hearing, because I am asked all the time, how do you continue to find some of these amazing items that you get at thrift stores? People go to thrift stores all the time after seeing and hearing from me on my blog, on my social media, of the amazing scores that I get, and wonder what is my magic. And I'll tell you the truth, there is no really magic to it, but there are some things that you should know that's going to help you find good stuff at the thrift store. So the first tip I'm going to talk to you about is stop being obsessed with sizes on the labels. Let me tell you, when you go to a thrift store, some thrift stores will have their items organized by sizes, and some organize it by colors. Don't worry about that. If you see something you like, pick it up. You never know, because one thing you have to understand is at thrift stores, you're gonna find items from so many different designers and labels and manufacturers that some sizes just don't really go along with what you're known to be wearing. So when I see something I like, I pick it up, and so should you, because what's the worst that could happen? If it doesn't fit, you don't buy it. Second tip, check out the men's section. I mean, I understand when we go to the mall, we don't go to a men's store to buy things, but thrift stores are a different category. So you have to check out the men's section. There are so many items that I've gotten from the men's section that had I not been following this tip religiously, I definitely would have missed out. Remember, people hide things in thrift stores. Yes, not great etiquette, but they do. Also, some men items definitely can be worn by women. Men's section are part of the process. Go to it. Third one, please understand that thrifting takes patience, it takes time, and you are not going to walk in and just find the item right away. I mean, there are times when I would admit that. But in general, you need to give yourself some time. You can't run in and out of a thrift store in 20 minutes. This is not J. Crew where everything is neatly laid out for you. So please give yourself enough time and be patient with yourself. You know, be patient with the process and just enjoy it while you're doing it. Patience, patience, patience. If you have it, you will find good stuff. Ladies and gents, thrift stores are not your typical anything, okay? So their thrift stores are gonna look, some of these thrift stores are going to look like they took everything and put it up on the rack without any care of sorting, without any care of organizing. They will not look like your retail stores where things are sorted and nicely laid out for you. But that is part of the thrifting experience, and the sooner you understand that, it's the easier it is when you get in there to understand what you need to do. So understand that thrift stores are not going to have the same layout as retail stores. It's just not going to happen. So what do you do with that? You take it, you embrace it, and you have fun with it. You just go through your items with your patience and go through the items, and you will find good stuff. Tip number 5, potential versus perfection. Thrift stores won't have any items on a mannequin that tells you exactly how to wear it. But if you understand that the item you're picking up has some type of potential, whether it be a beautiful bold print, whether it be the perfect size on you, whether it fits you like a glove, whether it fits you and you know that there's something else at home that you can go with it. Think of the potential versus the perfection of having pieces. Also, if you have a seamstress or a tailor, then that could bring in, you know, that you could buy a piece and have them fixed, you know, tailored for you, then that's perfect. I personally, I don't pick up too many items that I know I need getting fixed because I'm kind of lazy and I probably won't get there, and it will just sit in my closet for months before I do something with it. But if you know that you can either do it yourself, and I've seen a lot of people get thrifted pieces and make them into fabulous pieces for themselves, then go for it. Just remember, it's potential for the piece versus having it already perfectly made. Okay, so tip number 6 will go for those who will watch this video and run out to the thrift store this weekend and say, oh, I got it. Thrifting Diva told me these 12 things is going to get me the great stuff, so gotta get my great stuff this weekend. Well, thrifting takes time, patience, we've already said it. You can't go there just once in a blue moon and expect to rack up on good stuff. So you're going to have to try and add this into the daily, not the daily, but your weekly routine of maybe just stopping by. I'm not advocating that you buy something every time you go to a thrift store, but you can go and check out what they have. Thrift stores, for the most part, get their merchandise, new merchandise, daily, unlike the retail stores. So if you are checking out what they're getting, you know, at least on a weekly basis, you're going to start to get good stuff. I know that I tend to go to the thrift store probably weekly, actually, but I don't buy things every week. I go in a few minutes if I'm not really looking for anything and just browse around, and I have been able to find some amazing items because of my dedication my dedication to actually going more often than not. Okay, so this next tip is not really one that will help you find good items, but it is important to understand that don't hoard because you start finding that thrift stores really are amazing when it comes to the prices and how much you're saving. So I'm just throwing this one out there. Do not become a hoarder, because it easily becomes addictive when you start thrifting often and see that, whoa, I would have paid $75 for this jeans at Macy's, but it is $6.99 here. Let me get 10. No, we don't need that, right? So you will find good stuff. I promise you, you will find good stuff all the time, especially if you use these tips that I'm giving you, but do not become a hoarder. Okay, check your budget, check yourself. Tip number 8 is you have to try on items to be able to walk away with good stuff. Remember we talked about being obsessed with the sizes on the labels? Now you should be more obsessed with trying on anything you really like or you see, because as I said earlier, you just never know how things are going to fit. I have tons of pieces and proof that had I not tried it on, I would not have known that it would have fit. If you really see something you like, you have to try it on. You have to, and I'll say that again, you have to try it on, because you just never know what is going to fit, what's going to look amazing on you. You can easily leave some things on the rack that you thought didn't fit because you're obsessed with a label on the size and you did not try it on. To know that you have good stuff is to know your designers, your labels, and the quality of clothing and, you know, the material. Because how do you know if you're getting good stuff if you don't know exactly who the designer is, who the label is, you know, these things like that. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I know every designer there is out there. I'm not. But you know what I do know? Google. And Google in the thrift store is what I do often. So I always go in with a charged phone because I Google a lot of things. Now, obviously, touching and feeling the texture of clothes, you start to feel and understand what quality feels like. And then I'll feel it and I'm like, oh, I don't know who this is. Yes, let me call up my boo Google. Chip, chip, chip. Who is this? And able to find out exactly what they are. And a lot of times I've been able to figure out, oh, this will be $500 at retail, but I'm now picking it up for $5. Now that's how you score at a thrift store. To find good stuff means that you have to branch out. To branch out, what I'm saying is that, listen, When I go anywhere, I look up a thrift store near me. And if you want to figure out how to do thrift stores near you, I hope you're checking out my video that I did where I gave you some 5 amazing tips on how to find thrift stores. But in general, I thrift everywhere. If I'm going out of state, if I'm going out of the city, if I'm going downtown and I haven't been to the area, I will Google, where I'm going to find if there's a thrift store near me. If I'm going out of the country, I will look to see if they have thrift stores. And yes, thrift stores are nationwide and worldwide. So check out other places because there are good stuff everywhere. Branch out when you thrift a little bit. Another tip that I'm going to give you, this is our 11th tip. A lot of people feel overwhelmed when they walk into a thrift store. And even I get overwhelmed at times. And then I have to just check myself and remember why I'm there. If you narrow the thrift store into sections of to what you're going to be doing, try to walk in and say, okay, I'm going to go to the jeans section and the shoe section today. Or I'm going to go to every section, but I'm going to take it in section by section. Don't crisscross all around the store because you're just you're wasting time. You're not going to find anything and you're just going to feel more overwhelmed. So I go through section by section by section, and when I've completed a full section, then I move on to another section. That's the best way, and to me that helps me in just kind of focusing my brain on the task ahead versus feeling like, oh my goodness, I see something quite over there. Oh, I see something on that side. Let me go check it out. Just kind of break it down. And especially if you know why you're going to the thrift store, if you say, you know what, I'm going to go look for jeans today, then it helps in just walking up to the jeans section. Don't get distracted and walk to the jeans section and just go through the jeans section. That way, when you focus on a section, your possibilities of actually looking at the items that you're looking at, you will increase your chances of finding good stuff. Okay, last tip. When you go thrifting, you need to wear a thrift uniform. And what is a thrift uniform? Thrift uniform is basically, for me, leggings or tights and a tight-fitted tank top or t-shirt. Oh, add to your thrift uniform slip-on shoes, because you don't want to be lacing up things and when you want to try on shoes. The reason I say that is a lot of thrift stores don't have dressing rooms, and if they do, maybe it's 1 or 2. Wear your thrift uniform, because what will happen is if you get there, you find all these things and you're like, yes, I'm gonna listen to Thrifting Diva, I'm gonna try it on, and you get there and you see that there's a long line and you decide, you know what, forget it. Then you end up leaving those things and you don't know if one of those items was your great score that day. So eliminate the hassle. Wear a thrift uniform when you're thrifting, when you're seriously thrifting, as I would say, so that it makes the process smoother, easier. You won't miss out on your good stuff. Okay guys, so 12 tips that will allow you to find good stuff when you thrift. And I'm telling you, I use absolutely every single one and they have been amazing for me and I can tell you work for me each and every time, because that's how I find my good stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and of course share. Sharing is caring.